Hi, everyone. Dr. Pat here again. I wanted to talk to you today about one of my favorite topics, something you probably don't hear about much unless you're a professional coach or psychotherapist, but it's the use of metaphor. Metaphor is a magical part of human language, and in fact, it's theorized that we probably use metaphor or mental images way before we had language. It's a way of contacting the right side of the brain, the spatial, the creative, the visual. And metaphors are all around you. Metaphors are in language, sometimes estimated to be 3 times a minute we speak in metaphor. The way I use it as a coach, and that you can use it in your own life, is when you've got a particular challenge or a particular place where you need some creative ideas, get somebody to ask you this question. And when you think of that challenge, it's like what? Now, that's a different phrase than what's that like. If you ask somebody, what's that like? They'll say, well, it's scary. It's just frustrating. They'll talk about feelings or they'll describe it. But if you say, that's like what? Then 99 times out of 100, the person will say something like, it's kind of like I'm stuck between a hard place and a rock, or I just feel like I'm in a rut in the snowdrift side of a mountain and there's nobody there to help me, or I'm going down the rapids in a raft and my guide fell out, or I'm getting ready to jump off a cliff with a parachute, paragliding equipment, and I've never done it before. Things like that. And if you work with the image, the transforming of the metaphor, like what needs to happen for you to get beyond that? How does that metaphor need to change? How would you save yourself in those rapids? Or what would it take to get unstuck? And you begin to get all kinds of creative ideas you can think of yourself. The key here is it's the person you're asking that question of, if that's like what, it's their metaphor. It's not going to be the same as yours. So, one way you can use metaphor is to listen to them. The client may say things readily, or your friend may say things readily, and you can just say, tell me more about stuck. What kind of stuck is that? What would it take for you to get unstuck? And that sort of thing. So, that's if they just mention it in their language. The second way to use metaphor is to evoke it, to ask that question, like, that's like what? Or to say, if this were a metaphor that would describe what you're telling me, what metaphor would it be? So you're evoking a metaphor from them. And the third way is to offer a metaphor. You might say, when you talk about this, I'm getting a feeling. I'll just share this with you, and you can see if it fits or not. I'm getting a feeling like you're walking through the beach, and all of a sudden you get stuck in quicksand. Things are going well, and boy, this crap happened. Whatever comes to you, you offer that to the client, to your friend, and they say, that's it. Or they say, no, it's not that, but you know what it is. So either way, it worked. So what I want you to do is think of using metaphors, listen for metaphors. You won't believe how often we have them in our language. Um, Listen for them in dialogue. Listen for them when you're having a real conversation with a friend. Next time, I want to talk about that, by the way, real conversations and how we need to have more conversation, not monologues of both people and not uncaring listening. We'll talk about that. But if you want to know more about what I'm up to, please go to drpatwilliams.com. That's dr, no period, drpatwilliams.com. I also have many blogs on there. I blog for Your Tango. I write blogs on my site. I'm a member of the Forbes Coaching Council. Lots of things. So sign up for my newsletter. Sign up for my list, because in the very near future, in 2018, I'm going to be doing some groups for men and for women separately on transformative living. And I'm also going to be doing some classes on things like metaphor and things like living a purposeful life, etc. Lots of fun things that I enjoy doing. So until then, Dr. Pat signing off. Talk to you later.